Hey guys, welcome to the next video of Python tutorial series. In this video, as part of object-oriented programming, we'll be discussing about classes and objects present in Python. So let's get started. We know that Python is an object-oriented programming language, and in object-oriented programming language, everything is considered as an object, and the main purpose of object-oriented programming language is to bind together all data and functions to a particular entity and prevent the other functions from using them. Today we are going to discuss about classes and objects. A class is nothing but a collection of objects, and it can be visualized as a blueprint to create an object. For example, I'm going to create a class, and let's visualize a classroom as an example. Class, classroom. Inside this class, I am declaring one variable name with the hard-coded value of John. So now we have created a class which has the name as John. I'm going to access the variable name. So to access anything inside a class, we need to declare one object. An object is nothing but an instance of a class. So by making use of that instance, we can access anything inside a class. I'm going to instantiate this class with class 1 classroom. Now we have instantiated this class. I'm going to print the name which is present inside the classroom. So I can do like class underscore 1, which is an object dot name. So it has returned us the name as John. This is very simple class and object illustration. Now I'm going to make this class as a more dynamic one, and I'm going to pass dynamic values into this class instead of the name John. For that, I can declare one init function. Init function is nothing but a built-in function. It will always be executed whenever we instantiate the class. Here the variable self is a reference for a current class. So using this self, we can access the variables of present in the current class. Name, age. So we have successfully created a class which takes the input as name and age. So now I'm going to create an instance using object student underscore 1 class room of. I'm going to pass the name as James with age 18. Now I'm going to print the value of name of a student present in the class. So we got the output as James as a student underscore 1 object. I'm going to create another instance class room with Jack. I'm going to pass the age as 16. Now I'm going to print the second object, which is our second student. So the student 2 name is now having Jack. So now I'm executing this again. It still has James, and student 2 is having the name as Jack. So we have successfully created two instances of a same class
using two different objects, student 1 and student 2. Here, using the object student 2, you cannot access the variables inside the object student 1, and similarly you cannot access the student 2's variables uh, by using student underscore 1 object. We can also declare our function inside a class which takes the self reference self. Okay, I'm going to print here, print student name as self dot name student age self dot age. So now I'm going to create one more object, student 3, which prints the name and age of a student. We are going to give Praveen with an age 17. So to print this, I'm going to access the sample print function inside the classroom, student 3 dot sample print. So in the student 3 object, we have given the name as Praveen and the age as 17. The same is being printed as an output. And if you want to know if you have created an object, you can print it whenever you instantiate. Print a new object is created with name self.name. Now I'm going to create a new object, student 4, for the classroom with the name send and age 21. So as soon as you instantiate the function, as soon as you instantiate the classroom, the init function gets executed, and so this print statement, which is a new object is created with name send is printed, and the self parameter doesn't have to have the name as self, and it can also be my any object. You can give anything you want, but the thing is you have to use the same reference everywhere. You can also create a class like this. Instead of self, I have named as my any object. With this, I'm going to instantiate another object. Note with the age of 14. Still, the object is created with the name Vinod. If you want, you can change the properties of an object. For example, I'm going to change the age of the student 5 into 21. Now I'm going to print this, print student5.age, you can see that the age is modified as 21 for the fifth student. You can also delete the attribute of object. For example, I'm giving tell student 5.age. Now I'm trying to print it 5.age. So now it is throwing an error like classroom object of student 5 does not have an attribute age. So we have deleted it successfully, and also the class cannot be empty, so you have to give something, and you can use pass statement for that. And if you do not give pass statement and you are trying to declare it, it will throw you an error.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. In this video we have learned the concepts of classes and objects. In the next video we will be discussing about polymorphism, inheritance and encapsulation as part of object oriented programming. Until then, see you. Have a great day.